Welcome to the Monday Morning Mixtape. On this week's show, we're going to be discussing Muses Origins of Symmetry. We're going to be discussing who's the best singer. Actually, not going to be discussing, we're going to be arguing over who's the best singer in the world ever. And later on in the show, Mark and Jen are going to be telling us all about a band called Mother. So, on with the show. Welcome to this week's show. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in, gang. If you're following us, if this is your first episode, go back and listen to all the other ones.
And welcome.
Because you're missing out, because it's actually a series. It's a weird vampire soap opera where we discuss music.
Bleh.
Yeah. Like, if you like Buffy and you like music, this is actually a podcast done in the Buffy universe. So every now and again, Angel just pops in and goes, "Where's Buffy?" And we're like, "Keep telling you, we don't know."
Not here.
She died from cancer.
She could fight all the vampires, but she couldn't fight COVID-19.
And cancer.
Yeah. Should have stayed isolated.
Exactly.
She had to go out killing vampires.
I know.
But but last week's show we were talking about Danzig, which Mark didn't listen to, but apparently he did this week.
I went off and I listened to it, and Jen wasn't on last week's area, but I forced her to listen to it as well. So yeah, we both listened to their first album, and I was actually pleasantly surprised.
Me too. I thought it'd be a lot heavier.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I'd never really listened to that kind of, I suppose, style of music before myself. So I suppose I may have had kind of a preconceived notion of what it was or whatever. But
I admitted you were just like, I fucking don't want to be listening to shit.
Yeah, to be honest, I did have kind of, and I was a little bit annoyed at myself in that regard, because I do feel myself that I have a fairly open mind when it comes to music. So I was a bit surprised to feel that, like, before I even started listening to music, I was like, I'm not going to like this. But I was pleasantly surprised, so I'm happy about that. What about you, Mark?
What was your favourite track?
Oh, I don't know.
I think mine. I don't know. They're all good. They're all indescribable.
They're all,
How
they
can
all
you
have
pick
lovely
one?
bottoms.
How can you pick one? Let me just scramble to get the Wikipedia page up.
I'm trying to think, what was the second one we listened to? I'm terrible at names anyway, even of bands
Did
I
you
love.
you just listen to it from like start to finish?
Yes.
So the second one is not of this world.
I liked that one a lot.
Yeah.
Out of this world.
Yes,
kind
but
of,
it doesn't
I don't
sound like that.
know. It just, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I would admit that the first song on it, Twist of Cain, was okay, but it didn't really do anything for me a lot. Like I kind of was like, if it's just this for the rest of it, I don't know if I really like it. But then as I went through it, like Soul on Fire, The Hunter, and Mother are definitely standouts.
Yeah.
And the rest of the album is actually really solid. Just that first one, there's nothing wrong with it. It just, as an opening song, it doesn't really do anything for me.
Twist of Cain is one of these fucking weird ones. The more you listen to it, the more you
get
go,
into
oh
it.
my god, because I was like that bit with it. I was like, I don't really like it. It's fucking just real basic, and I don't know there is
it's a
but then the
banger.
more you listen to it, you're like, oh my god, this is brilliant.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go back and listen again, I think.
Listen to the third album.
Okay.
This is How the Gods Kill. It's very, very different, but it's my favourite album that he's after. I think a lot of people as well. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a mixture of everything. To the point, like, there's one song on that's like a Roy Orbison song called Sistanus or Sistanus. It's amazing. It's for all the things that people say about Danzig taking the piss out. I guarantee in years to come, a lot of people are going to start coming back onto the fucking Danzig train and kind of go, this guy was actually fucking genius and like one of the best artists of the 80s and 90s. He's been around since like 70 fucking 8.
Yeah, I noticed that. I thought that was...
Well, that's when he reinvented himself. Before that, he was around for a lot longer, but...
Yes, he is immortal.
Yes.
In
He's
this
always
iteration
been
of
here.
Danzig.
Yes.
I'm glad the two of you liked it. Surprised the two of you actually liked it.
Have you
Yeah.
watched any videos of Danzig?
No.
Are you?
I watched one YouTube video.
Oh, did you?
This afternoon, yeah. I don't know.
For what song was it?
Let me just check.
And what did you think of it? Was it?
Because you see,
Didn't do
that's the thing.
anything
The
for me.
visuals could very much not gel with
Didn't
what
do
the
anything
sound
for me
is.
at all. To be
Yeah,
honest.
if you see what he looks like when he's singing, you kind of go, what?
That's it, because the sound is sort of it's almost kind of like 50s sort of rock metal.
But that's
Yeah.
kind of like what the
It's a
the
timeless
Misfits were
quality,
as
and
well.
then you
They
kind of
were,
look at it and you kind of go, "Oh my god!" It's just like chest and ass the whole time, and it's just what is this?
There was for She Rides, we heard someone was saying about, we never saw the music video for it until last night. People were going on about it. It's just like all of a woman's ass, the whole and it is, the video is just
It's just a woman in a thong with a really
Yeah.
shit tattoo, and she's just like, "Look at my ass, look at my ass," and then it's just him with his chest out,
And
and
then
he
it
likes
slowly
having his
pulls out.
chest
And then
out.
after a while, you realise it was never a woman's ass. It was just Danzig's ass.
That was the first thing I said. I
Just
said,
his
"That's
pecs.
probably his ass," because he likes showing his chest a lot.
Yeah, I noticed
Right.
that.
Danzig.
But he's got a fine chest. Why not show it off? If I had a
He's
fucking
like,
chiseled chest
he's
like
like
that, I'd be like,
63
"Look at my
or
nips. Here's
64
my
now.
nips."
It's like
This
Jean-Claude
is
Van
the-
Damme showing himself doing the splits in every movie.
He was like nearly in his 40s at that stage as well.
I'm actually
say
surprised
that
you
like
don't
it's
make
a
more
bad thing.
references to Jean-Claude Van Damme,
No,
to
but
be
I'm
honest.
just saying, you know, like people kind of like forget, you know, because a lot of people, 40 is too old. Like, I mean, that's when he was, like, I mean,
At his
that was
peak.
his third fucking
Yeah.
career.
That's true, actually. Yeah, I suppose.
In bands, I am. But,
He does look like
yeah.
someone who wouldn't be like you wouldn't be surprised if you saw him on like a kind of a C-rate TV channels like horror movie night as the guy dressed up in movie or kind of horror makeup going just making like creepy puns.
what they invented all that with the Misfits.
Pretty much.
They did. That was, you know, the skull face paint. He
Yeah.
invented all that shit.
Oh,
He invented
Yeah,
face
like-
paint.
Go back. What the two of you need to do is go back and listen to last week's
Before
episode.
Danzig, there were no
Okay.
clowns.
Yeah, when we were talking about kind of like the legend of Danzig, when we cover kind of like the history of Danzig and all that, so you need to listen to it. Buff up on Danzig. I'd like
Okay.
the two of them to end up turning into massive Danzig fans.
Yeah, next time you see him, they've
Danzig
just got like
tattooed on their
fucking
forehead.
Misfits t-shirt.
well, I
the whole
certainly
time,
think
yeah.
that's your intention anyway, to get us to be massive fans.
Yeah,
Oh, I get you into
converts.
little decapitation.
Yeah, well, eventually.
This is how it starts. You're
Yeah,
like,
start
he sounds
small.
a bit like Elvis, and then you're kind of like,
Yeah, all of a sudden, into the worst.
But anyway, it was Mark's turn this week to pick a classic album for us to explore and discuss.
Yeah.
Mark, you picked Muses Origin of Symmetry.
I did indeed.
Introduce us to it.
Yeah, so Muses Origin of Symmetry is their second album, actually. I was going to go with the first one, but I think their second one is a better kind of classic one to look through. And it's kind of, it has like a lot of songs that like would be still really familiar with people who are even just passing Muse fans with newborn baby. I was going to say newborn baby, newborn plug-in baby.
Sod Lost Prophets were listening to you now.
Yeah, newborn, plug-in baby, Bliss. Those would be kind of the main ones that like a person with a passing knowledge would know of. But it has a lot of really good like just music in it. Some of it, after going back and listening to, I don't think has aged as well as I had hoped. So when I kind of started listening through it, the first two on it are, as I was just saying there, Newborn and Bliss, and those to this day are still one of my favourite Muse songs of all time. Space Dementia is just a fucking weird song, and I don't really think it's that good.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say that was my favourite that I listened to, but alright.
Oh, that's a beauty of musical taste.
Is there any kind of like overarching theme to the album or anything like that, or is it kind of like any concept behind it?
There may be, but I didn't see it anyway. No, I'm always terrible for kind of finding like the patterns through those. But Muse has been known to do that, but I didn't see a full pattern in this one. It seemed kind of be very early in their career, and it seemed like they were just having standalone songs.
Well, I was looking up the meaning behind some of that. It seems to be this kind of like, is it like even the Origin of Symmetry, they were saying that it was based on what was the book? It was based on some book that let me find it. It was like a philosophy book.
Hyperspace.
That's the thing, yeah. Theoretical physicist.
I'm going to butcher this name. Michio Kaku?
That's the fella.
Kaku?
Oh, from
Yeah.
the guy from Devon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing as well that we should say. Matt Bellamy actually lives around the corner from us.
Seriously?
Literally.
Yeah,
they're
he does,
from
yeah.
Tinmouth, which is basically where we live.
Yeah, I'm friends
cool.
with his cousin.
Yeah.
But it's I won't get into anything about it, but it's the whole thing with it was that like I play on the origin of species, that he thought that kind of like in the future people would start looking at the origin of symmetry, because symmetry was a big kind of like thing and kind of like helping to explain the universe, that for some reason things are always symmetrical. But see, I think a lot of it's kind of like future based, and I think they kind of went off trying to do more kind of like prog rock stuff. Like the feeling that I get listened to is that they nearly tried to emulate some of these guys in the 70s that would have went into studios and kind of like experimented heavily, and they spent like a year in the studio and millions recording an album, that this was their attempt at doing that.
Okay.
It's
It's
on
a
an
very
article.
heavily produced, I think, album, isn't it? It comes across as a very heavily produced album.
Yeah, extremely, yeah.
When I was reading about it, the article that I was reading said that for such a young band, they were working with the heritage that included darker visions of Cobain and the Tiger Lilies. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Like it's definitely a solid album. Going back, listen to it. Like as I said, like, not everything has aged as well as I would have thought, but like it was never one of my like favorite ones, because I kind of came into Muse late and went back. Like I think it was around 2006 when they released. Would have been around 2006's album. I would have probably listened to it first about a year or two after they released it, but Black Holes and Revelation would have been their first album I would have heard songs from, and it was kind of, they were one of the first bands that I kind of just kind of went at with a voracious kind of attitude, where I just listened to that album, then I went I must find more of their stuff, and I went back through their kind of discography and just listened to like pretty much everything, and they were really, really high on my kind of playlists for a very long time. And it was only
I never knew that you're a Muse fan now.
yeah, like I was really big for a long time now, like more so than like even like Green Day or I like, because Green Day would have been a big up there for me as well, but the Muse would have definitely been from about like maybe 16 or 17 to about 18 or 19. I at most like it was probably like my top band.
Well, whenever they start opening up and doing concerts again, whenever this whole lockdown shit fucking ends and all the rest, keep an eye out, because Muse occasionally do free concerts in Tinmouth, because obviously they're from Tinmouth, and they occasionally come back and they put on big bangers of concerts here, because
That would be lovely.
just
that'd be
giving
cool.
back.
Yeah, we get you tickets for it. Oh, we won't be going though, because I personally think they're fucking shit.
Really?
Yeah, I can't stand them.
But you see,
I gave the album a good try though.
Yeah. He did genuinely.
I listened to the album. I listened to the album for the week. I listened to it a couple of times each day, and I went off looking at documentaries or in interviews with him talking about the album, and I went looking up about some of the songs and stuff. So I did. I put as much effort into this as I would into a band that I really like, just because like it happened before, like with Churches. Although I said you recommended Churches too, so I was like, what's this fucking? And I thought it was amazing thing. But Muse just can't.
You see, I'm on the fence with Muse. They're singles. I've always kind of like say Black Holes and Revelations and all the rest. There's a couple of their singles I've always kind of gone, yeah, I quite like that and all the rest. But then once I listen to albums, I'm kind of going, no, a single is enough. That's fine. I'll listen to a single. The albums, I can kind of take it or leave it.
I just don't like the sound. Like what you were saying, I think they're overly produced. I think they're trying to.
There's too much going on.
They're trying to copy stuff. That's it. Like, I mean, their first album sounded like a rip off of Radiohead, and this sounded like a heavier version of Radiohead. I remember when it came out first, kind of going, fuck, they're after changing a fair bit, and kind of like say, oh, I give them a go, because they're one of these bands. I think you listen to it at first and you kind of go, wow, that's a good song, but then the more you listen to it, there's nothing there to it.
I have to say, some of their singles, I appreciate it. He's a fantastic voice. They're fantastic instrumentalists. They have huge fucking swathes of talent. They can really put together a song. And like I said, some of their singles, I can quite happily listen to some of their singles all day long, but it's just a full album. Maybe it's because there is too much in an album. After I get fatigued after an album, I'm like, okay, that's enough Muse. I can't listen to any more of that. But it's the same with some other bands. I can quite happily, if I listen to an album, I kind of go, that was quite a lot to process. That's one listen through is enough for me. Whereas you know the way I am with music, if I really like, I mean, I fucking listen to Metallica